everybody, welcome back to Alex and Ash. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Alex will not be joining me on this video. However, if you've been watching us, like and subscribe as we are trying to grow our channel so that we can be a blessing to just people in the Christian community. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to share 2 things that singles must be doing while they're single and waiting on that person that God has for them. So today I want to talk about a show that really just I loved. I really was encouraged by this, and I feel like most Christians can take away a lot from this show. So if you haven't already heard of it, it's the Indian matchmaking show that is very popular right now on Netflix. They currently have 2 seasons out, and I am anxiously waiting for the 3rd season to come out. I'm hoping it's not going to be a flop. I'm hoping that they're not going to say they're not going to make another one. But according to the internet, they are saying that another episode, or another season rather, is in the making. So if you haven't seen Indian Matchmaking, it is a show based off of a lady named Seema out of Mumbai. And she is an expert professional in her field that many well-to-do Indian people will hire to help find the love of their life. And the way that it goes is there's typically a checklist that the contestant will fill out to see if they can match those qualities with another person that she has in her database. So a lot of people have been in her database. She knows a lot of people. So she sets out to meet the qualities that these individuals have to find their match. And the way that they really believe is that God has a soulmate specifically for that individual person. And as a Christian, I can get on board with that. I believe that the Lord has ordained somebody specifically for us in marriage. And so today I want to talk about 2 contestants on the show. And as you watch this show, if you get into it, you will see the progression of the contestants on their journey to finding their spouse. And it really is a beautiful thing. The first one is Aparna. Aparna is a little bit of, she is hard. She has very high standards. She's wanting the man of her dreams to check all of her boxes off of her list. And in reality, that's just not practical, right? We have our list, we have our standards that people have to meet, but not everybody is going to meet every single one of those. And not to say that we have to compromise or we have to settle, but we just have to get real with ourselves to say that nobody's perfect and nobody's going to meet the standards. And so on Aparna's journey, she sets out with very high standards. She's very snooty whenever she goes out with these guys, not really wanting to give any of them the time of day. As the seasons progress, she really starts to see, that it's not as easy as she thinks it is to have a guy meet all of these qualifications. And so she really starts to humble herself on her journey, which I believe is very beautiful. Now, I will say, disclaimer, that I don't condone a lot of the things that the Indian people practice, such as face readings, psychics, astrology. That's not what this video is about, and I'm not promoting or condoning any of that. I am in fact condoning the way that they search out for love, the way that they have a standard set in their culture to just find that one and wait on the one that God has for you. Even though we don't serve the same God, the principles we can still put into the Christian faith, I believe. The next candidate was Nadia. And I will say Nadia shocked me a little bit. Nadia actually came on the show. I thought she was just this innocent girl looking for love. And over time, I started to see her not so innocent side come out. The first guy that she actually had a date with, I believe, actually was the second guy. He was a great fit. I believe that one was the guy for her. But yet her flesh got the best of her, and she wanted what felt good at the time. And so she went with this other guy, and they began kissing, and they began, doing all of these things. And I believe that in that, she got her heart broken and realized that that was not the person that she was supposed to marry. So on this journey of these 2 contestants, and of this show in general, I believe that Christians can take away 3 major things. And so how can this show help Christians? What does Indian matchmaking have to do with Christians' relationships and singleness in general? Number 1, I would say that this show puts in practice the importance of compatibility. So at the beginning of the show, whenever the contestants come on, everybody has a checklist. The things that they want in a person, the things that they don't want. Does this person love dogs? Does this person love cats? Does this person exercise? Things that are of utmost importance if you like those things or if you don't like those things. Typically we get into relationships and then we start to, fade out of likability because those people don't really sync to what we like, right? If you're dating a guy and he doesn't like dogs, but you have 2 dogs, that's probably going to be a deal breaker. Things that we don't really consider in dating is Christian compatibility. Number 2, purposeful dates, right? On this show, people go on dates with the purpose of getting married. That is the end goal, and both person knows it. There's no fluff, there's no gray cloud of what this date is about. It's not about getting into someone's bed. It's not about what we can do to have fun together. No, the end goal is marriage. And I feel like that's very, very important in the Christian community to really have an end goal whenever you're dating. If you're in the dating field, like, what is the end goal here? Are we just doing this to have fun, to waste time? Or is the end goal marriage? I think that that's something that you guys should both talk about if you're setting out on a date. No, it doesn't have to be we're going to get married right away, but the end goal, what does it look like? Number 3, there is no such thing as love at first sight. And I will say that there is something that's so, so powerful that Aunty Seema actually says in the show. She says that love starts out cold and then it grows hot, insinuating that these people go on a few dates, their parents meet each other, and then they decide whether they're going to get married. These people don't really know each other. So it's saying that love grows hot as they get married and begin to know each other, begin to, spend time with one another. But the compatibility is there. The compatibility is the utmost important, I believe, of any relationship. Do our assignments align? Is my passion necessarily his passion? I'm not saying that you guys have to have everything in common. Please don't do that, because it's, opposites attract. There's a saying that says that. But I do think that it's very important to make sure that you guys have the same end goals, your ministry endeavors look the same. You guys can really help and lean on one another in partnership. If you haven't watched the show, I encourage you to watch it. And like I said, I'm not encouraging everything that they do on the show. They do have face readings. They do talk about astrology. Just eat the meat, spit out the bones. But I do think that there's some underlying principles here that Christians can really heed from. And if you've stuck around this whole time for the video, I do want to say that there are 2 things that you must be doing in your singleness right now. And number 1 is to focus on Jesus. Don't be set out looking for a spouse. Whenever I was in my singleness, every time I would meet a new guy in our community or in my circle or at church, I would always have that underlying thought, could he be the one? Is he my husband? And that's really not good to do, because you're just solely focusing on the spouse, and you just get so blinded by what God could really have for you. So keep your eyes on Jesus, and I can promise you that the Lord is not going to let you miss out on who your spouse is. Number 2, embrace your singleness. Embrace it. This is something that I think that a lot of single people miss out on, because they're so focused on, not being lonely and wanting to do life with somebody else. And they see their friends getting married and they see their friends having kids. But embrace the season of singleness. Embrace this time alone that you get with the Lord, because I can guarantee you, whenever you get married, it's all about the other person. It's no longer about you and the Lord and that quality time. Like, that is something that is so precious during this time. So yeah, if you've stuck out to the end, I really appreciate you watching this video. If you have watched the show, give me a comment in the box below. Let me know your thoughts. If you haven't watched it, maybe go check out a few episodes and check you next time.